Oh, hi! Today we're gonna make zucchini bread. Let's go grab some zucchini.
Alright, let's come in the zucchini plant here. They say that you're supposed to be able to safely twist this off without breaking the stem if you go in the proper direction, which I think is with the twist. Just like that. Okay, let's see if we can do that again on this baseball bat over here. So these are getting big. Apparently we missed these. This thing is a baseball bat. But we're going to try to get it off without breaking the tip. If we give it a little bit of a twist in the direction it's growing, I think we can do it. And we did it. Doing that properly helps the zucchini itself to last longer, as well as creates less rotting on the plant itself. So that one's too big to use. That'll be chicken food. This, I can make some yummy bread out of that.
Hey friends, welcome back to A Homesteading Hustle. Today I'm going to share with you my absolute favorite sweet bread recipe. Now this is a quick bread, so you're just going to whip it up and toss it in the oven. You don't need any rise time. And we're going to use zucchini and fresh lemon juice and lemon zest. It's going to be delicious, I promise. This is one of my most complimented breads that I make. So definitely stick around, and I'm also going to share with you my trick to keeping it the perfect consistency and moisture. So you're going to have a awesomely moist bread without it being mushy or gummy or anything weird like that. You want to stick around for that tip. So let's go ahead, jump into this recipe. Today is a collaboration with Jamie at Jamie's Country Living. There is a whole entire playlist of tons of different breads, and I highly encourage you to check that out, as well as check out her channel. She has some great stuff on there as well. I will link all of that in the description below. Now let's go ahead and make some bread. Okay, so we're gonna jump right into this recipe by shredding our zucchini first. Now we do need 2 cups of zucchini. I never actually measure out my zucchini because if I have leftovers, there's plenty of things you can use it for. And you'll see later on how I actually measure this with my hands. So I'll show you that a little later, and that is the tip that you'll want to stick around for. It's important to put your zucchini either in a strainer with a bowl underneath, or you can put a strainer right in your sink. Now we're going to start with 3 eggs, and we're going to put that into a different bowl. Now some people will start with creaming any kind of fat, like their butter or an oil, with their sugar. But I'm going to start a little backwards today, and I like to get a little air into my eggs. Now I'm not using any electricity with this recipe. I'm just going to whisk these 3 eggs together in this clean container. The next step is to add 1/2 cup of an applesauce, an unsweetened applesauce. This is just plain apples, nothing else, as well as a 1/2 cup of just melted coconut oil. Now, you don't want your coconut oil to be warm or hot by any means. You want it just at its melting point when you whisk this in, because you don't want to cook your eggs. Now, I like to emulsify this, and so I do drizzle it in and whisk at the same time. I find I get a really nice emulsion that way, and we get a really great blend with those fats. So, and you can also substitute if you want to use like a vegetable oil or a canola oil here. The original recipe I started with way back when I started this recipe was actually with one of those. But I want to avoid some of those omega-6 fatty oils, and we're going to switch over to coconut oil with a lot of our recipes here. So then you're going to add in 2 cups of just a plain granulated sugar. Now you can obviously get fancy if you want to use organic. This is kind of just a basic white granulated sugar, and it works excellent. Now zucchini doesn't have much flavor, so you do need to add sugar to this recipe, and this does make 2 loaves. So those 2 cups are going to be spread out, so don't worry too much about that. Plus, we're not really making some of these breads for health reasons, are we? So go ahead, whisk that up together. You just want to get a nice smooth consistency. It's not going to break down the sugar, but it'll be nice and smooth for you. Then in another little bowl, we're going to take the zest of 1 lemon. Now you don't want to get a ton of that white pith in there. That can be kind of bitter. So just try to stay on the outside of the colored part and try to do the entire lemon if you can. This is a pretty large lemon. So you're going to go ahead and just cut it in half, and we're going to squeeze the juice from this entire lemon into this bowl. Now here I just have it cut side up in case any seeds want to fall. I can catch those easily, or you can use one of these handy dandy little contraptions here. I actually just got that at the dollar store. It's pretty cool. So now we are going to add an extract to this. Now just about a teaspoon or so. I'm using vanilla extract here. I've used almond extract, and if you even feel like you need more lemon flavor, you can add lemon extract here. I did not today, but I have done that. I'm going to take this lemon juice and the zest and add it into our other wet mixture. Give it a little bit of a whisk and just make sure that's incorporated. And then we're going to move on to the dry ingredients. Now today I'm going to be using 2 cups of an all-purpose flour and 1 cup of a wheat flour. Now you can use any combination that you want. You just want 3 cups of flour. Then we have a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of baking soda, and a teaspoon of baking powder. Super easy recipe for you. This is literally all the ingredients now. So now let's all combine them together, and it's going to come together so great. So we're going to add in all of our dry ingredients here. And oh yeah, I forgot, we do need some cinnamon. Cinnamon really boosts up the flavor of the lemon and the zucchini, and it just really makes this a complete profile. So now we're going to add in our wet ingredients. So to the dry ingredients, which should be in the largest bowl, we're going to add all of our wet ingredients there. Now you notice we have not added the zucchini yet. That's coming. Now, once you add all of this together and start mixing it up, you'll notice it seems kind of thick. It's going to actually feel a little bit more like a soft cookie dough, and that's purposeful. It's very important. Now we're going to add in the zucchini, and here is the tip. I don't measure it, but I squish it in between my hands and I wring it out. I get as much liquid as possible out of this zucchini. And that's the tip to having the most perfect texture of zucchini bread. I like to use a lot of zucchini, so sometimes this is probably actually more than 2 cups, but I like to get 2 really full palmfuls, and then if there's any left over in the bowl, I do add that in as well. It's just really important to drain it because zucchini has such a high water content. So when you're using this much zucchini and you don't drain the water out of it, you can get a really strange textured bread, almost one that doesn't want to bake fully. So now we have it all drained out, and we're going to slowly incorporate it together. But before we do that, look at all this water. Now some zucchinis I've pulled out of the garden have even more water than this. But that is definitely a significant amount to change the texture of your batter. So keep that liquid if you want to add it to smoothies, or you can sneak it into something that you need liquid. Don't let that go to waste. So we're going to mix this together. Like I said, use a spatula or a wooden spoon. You don't want this getting stuck in a whisk or a mixer of any sort. Just get it incorporated, and then we're going to pour it into our pans. These are just regular size baking pans, and today I'm going to grease them just with a cooking oil spray. This is an coconut oil spray, but you can use any kind of grease or whatever you want to put in there. Just you have to put something in there, because the worst thing ever is baking a beautiful loaf of bread and it's sticking to the bottom and totally ruining your loaf. Is it edible? Yes. Is it pretty? Not as much. So definitely make sure you grease your pan. Spread these evenly between the 2 pans, and then I like to actually spread the top out so it's flattened. I don't really like the rounded center as much if I can avoid it. I try to keep it flat as much as possible. Now we're going to go ahead and bake this in a 325-degree oven, preheated I must say. We're going to bake this low and slow. Now zucchini bread with its high water content definitely needs time to bake. So this is going to be anywhere between 45 and 60 minutes. In our oven, it's about 55 minutes. So you're going to have to just check it, but don't check it too soon. You don't want a sunken center. You want to make sure your bread is cooked thoroughly and perfectly. And with the tips that I've given you, you can do this. Are you ready for the results? Drum roll, please. Here is this gorgeous lemon zucchini bread made from scratch, and I promise you, if you make this for friends and family, they're going to request it over and over. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you make this bread. Please let me know down below if you do. And don't forget to check out the host of this collaboration, Jamie, at Jamie's Country Living, as well as the hashtag playlist that has a ton of other great recipes for you. You have a wonderful, blessed day, and I will see you in the next one.